Hello Laureus and Pedro GCSE PE students. I'm going to make you a little video now. As you all know, I love my own voice and speaking about sports and exercise. So we're going to do a little introduction summary of all of the cardiovascular system. I've got some pretty horrific notes. I'm sure you're probably all missing my fantastic handwriting, and it seems to appear backwards actually. Anyway, so the topic is fairly straightforward and fairly simple, very, very similar to biology as well. So the first thing we need to look at or need to know is, what does the cardiovascular system do? First part, it transports things. The most important things it transports is firstly oxygen, as all working muscles need oxygen. So its job is to give oxygen to those working muscles that we can maintain to work aerobically. If we are working aerobically, it means that we can continue to work for a long period of time. It also transports CO2 or carbon dioxide, which it does that in the reverse, so it's getting rid of that waste product. Also things like lactic acid it will help get rid of. And finally, it will transport oxygen. The main way to think about blood is that, or the cardiovascular system is that it is carrying everything the body needs at all times. So it's going to carry O2, it's going to get rid of CO2, and finally it's going to carry nutrients that we need. So if we've been working out, we need protein to recover the muscle or cells, it will carry that. If you need energy, which from glucose is carried in the blood through the cardiovascular system. So one of its main objectives is to transport. And the next thing is to clot wounds through the platelets. So if you are bleeding, platelets will be carried through the blood and stop you bleeding out. And why is that important in sport? Which is the question we're going to ask you. It's important in sport because if, for example, you're a boxer and you are bleeding, if you do not clot that wound, you'll have to stop the fight and you will lose. Same in football. You know, nowadays with the blood rule, if you are bleeding on the pitch, you have to come off the pitch and cannot return until you've stopped bleeding. So that's another important reason that we need to clot blood. The cardiovascular system will also regulate body temperature. It'll do this through vasoconstriction and vasodilation. Two important things how it does that. So if we are hot, the blood vessels at the skin will vasodilate so that blood heat can escape into the atmosphere, and vice versa. If you are cold, the extremities of the body, so the fingers, the toes, will vasoconstrict, and that is important because if they're vasoconstricted, it will maintain the blood to the core, to the heart, to the lungs, to the brain, the important areas of our body, keeping the warmth in these areas, so that we can survive. Because essentially we can survive without fingers and toes, but we can't survive without brain function or heart function. And the next thing you need to be able to do is label the heart. Now again, you just have to do that for part of your homework. It's just a revision thing. It's just remembering what these different areas are. One of the main things to remember is that the aorta carries the blood through the whole body. The vena cava returns the blood. We've got the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. So arteries always carry oxygenated blood, apart from the pulmonary artery, which is carrying deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. And we also have the pulmonary vein, which is the reverse. So veins normally carry deoxygenated blood back to the heart. However, the pulmonary vein is doing the reverse of that. It's bringing back oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. So it's called the pulmonary system or pulmonary circuit. And also in the heart, when you get a fit, strong heart, it's your left ventricle that will become the most muscularized because the left ventricle has to pump blood to the whole body. The